Welcome everyone to the second episode of the GM Skills Awards 2026 vlogcast. So I'm Hannah from GMLPN, and if you're joining us for the first time, this vlogcast series celebrates the winners of the GM Skills Awards 2026. So in each episode, we speak to one of the winners, learn more about their successes, achievements, and the impact that they're making across Greater Manchester. So today, I'm delighted to be joined by representatives from Essity, winner of the Large Employer of the Year Award 2026. So welcome, Harry and Abigail. Thanks for joining us. And to get started, it would be great if you could introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit more about your roles at Essity. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. So first of all, thank you for having us. And yeah, very excited to have won the award and for Abigail to receive it on the night. My name is Harry Mitchell. I look after apprentices, early careers, which could include T-levels and work experience, supporting graduates, and essentially looking after the full life cycle. So from recruitment all the way to succession planning of securing their full-time positions.
Thank you for the great introduction, Hannah. And my name's Abigail Ayo, and I've been with Essity for 2 years now. I started on the graduate programme in paper making, so I've had first-hand experience of the early careers programme, which I'm happy to share more about in this podcast. And I've been able to progress through to initiatives engineer, so more of a project management role across converting and paper making. So thank you for having us.
Amazing. Thanks both. I'm really looking forward to our discussion today. And of course, the episode has been sponsored by the Northwest Apprenticeship Ambassador Network. And joining us today is Sophie Reynolds, the Apprenticeship Chair. So before we get into any more questions or anything, Sophie, it'd be great to learn more about yourself, your role and the network, please.
Absolutely. So as Hannah said, my name is Sophie and I'm the Apprentice Chair in the Northwest for the Apprenticeship Ambassador Network. We are a Department for Work and Pensions sponsored initiative, and we work all across the UK with, first of all, employers and small businesses to create apprenticeship opportunities, but secondly, we work with schools and colleges to promote apprenticeships, get the name out there, and also help students bridge that gap between I want an apprenticeship and actually landing that role. So in the Northwest, we have 150 ambassadors, both employers and apprentices, and we work all over the region to really expose apprenticeships and shine a light on them.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Sophie. Really great to hear. Okay, so I think we're ready to get started on those questions. So I'll hand back to you, Sophie, if you want to get started on the first question.
Absolutely. Harry, Abigail, it's great to have you with us, and it was a privilege for the Northwest to sponsor this award. The first thing I want to hear about is your early careers programme. So that was a big reason that you took home this award on the night. I'm interested to hear what makes your programme so successful and how does it make the apprentices and young people thrive?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. And I'm quite proud to have kind of stepped into the role a few years back and just established from the ground and what could we do in Manchester or the greater Manchester region. I think with our program, what would be different is it's not just about recruitment. A lot of programs there need to fill the positions, which is great to reach a number, but definitely about a long-term development. So example, where is Abigail going within the business? And it might not look like a straight path. The opportunities will come, and we can always work with Abigail, for example, to cater to each person's individual career aspirations and supporting long-term development of the talent over multiple entry points. So we've got Abigail as a graduate, but whether it's site visits, even a taster day, we have parent tours, teacher visits, work experience, of course, T-levels, even that was scary back in 2022 when everyone was a bit unsure what it was. Just go for it. Absolutely open the door and let the young people through and see if it works for them. And our traditional apprenticeships and graduates, even from level 1 all the way to chartered engineering. So every individual receives a structured onboarding, mentor and rotational placement with technical training as well from their technical advisors, and then even exposure to senior leaders with the deliberate approach. It's to give people real responsibility in early careers, but you must surround them with support that they need to succeed. So the result would be young people, they don't just learn with the technical skills, but they can build the soft skills, as everyone says, employability skills, say confidence, resilience, communication skills, presentations, and definitely develop the professional network, which is so important, just like your network. And hopefully that will help them thrive, say, inside the business, but it's not just about that. We want to also help them outside the business as well. So Abigail, you've done some presentations and visited schools and colleges as well. So do you think that helped with any of your employability skills at all?
Yeah, definitely. Having opportunities like that outside of the workplace, it's always good to give back to the community and share my experience in engineering and manufacturing. I've always found that really helpful and rewarding. So having such opportunities has been very good. And even just, I remember starting at the same time as a whole host of apprentices. So even just onboarding with them on the same rotational program was just good to be able to spend time together and get to know each other. And now they're some of the people that I still talk to a lot to this day on site and supporting one another and things like that. So I think it's very good, the peer-to-peer support that we have at Essity, as well as the different opportunities outside with the schools and colleges and presenting to different audiences. It's all really good for developing the soft skills that are needed.
It sounds like you guys are investing a lot in longevity as well as just getting people through the door, which is awesome. In the last year, I've seen you guys have brought on 41 apprentices and 16 students. That investment and that longevity that we were just talking about, what impact does that have on not only the individuals, but also the business itself?
Yeah, definitely. And that part would be significant on both sides. So for the individual, I would say we've seen young people progress into highly skilled engineering or supply chain, even business, and even into leadership roles. But many of our former apprentices are now in team leader positions. They're specialists. They are, in some cases, managers in the past few years as well within the actual organization. And some of our directors, say even 20 years ago in Manchester, local people are now directors and managing global responsibility in that aspect of the business. Even investing in future talent, I would say, helps build more of a sustainable workforce. It must have longevity, and it is a part of sustainability. So apprentices, I would say, contribute into real projects. So with Abigail, definitely has been on a rotational program across Europe and, of course, UK, improving processes, supporting innovation, and fresh perspectives. Having a fresh, diverse perspective in the room is always important, and achieving strong retention rates with this, making people feel like they're appreciated and their opinion is heard, and that psychological safety is important for everybody entering the workplace. And many of the apprentices become long-term employees, and our average across Essity is 13.5 years. So even an apprenticeship starts, it definitely is at least 4 years, 5 years of their program. So they have a long career ahead of them. And just understanding that culture and the operations within manufacturing, it's an absolutely different environment. So onboarding is so important. And yeah, one of the best investments you can make, because definitely it benefits the individual and the business, but the wider economy. And that's where apprenticeships are heading. But of course, society will benefit as an individual will become more confident and just enjoy life and their hopefully workplace happiness too.
I would add to that it's really important and really valuable having the work experience students on site, because I can remember being at that age and not really being sure what I wanted to do in future, but being able to see firsthand what a manufacturing site is like, all the different teams and departments that you can work in. It doesn't have to be hands-on work, but it's a great place to start and is a great foundation. I think is really valuable for students to be able to decide what they might want to go into next.
For sure, I think work experience, we've all seen, has so many benefits. Let's talk a bit of detail. Paper making. So, Essity plays quite a nationally important role in paper making. Why is it so important to protect these specialist skills for the next generation of manufacturing?
Yeah, definitely amazing question. Not just a good one, because paper making for me, I entered a few years ago and I had no idea behind the scenes. And it's been on a lot of TV shows about these specialized manufacturing companies, and Essity is one of them. Paper making is highly specialized, and I'm so excited that even Abigail's on the call as well, because that's her department. So we support the supply chain, but paper making and has many skills required, and it takes years to develop that. If you don't actively invest in that next generation, there's a risk of losing critical expertise because experienced professionals are retiring. And since 1985, the skills gap is the largest it's ever been. So that is our pipeline. So 1985 is when the apprentices started at our business. They went across the world to get specialized expertise from other countries, brought it back to the UK. And if we don't invest in it again in 2026 and onwards, we will lose that to other countries. So that is a knowledge transfer and it needs to be preserved and we need to enhance it. And that's why Abigail's there. And within manufacturing, it's changing rapidly. So you've got automation, digitalization is a large one, sustainability initiatives. So apprentices and graduates, they need that both traditional knowledge, but then modern technical skills. So you invest now, you'll ensure the industry remains in the UK that is competitive. It'll be innovative and then definitely to meet future demands because it will keep changing, definitely.
And what I would add to that is that it is very important to invest into paper making. I mean, upon entering this industry, I realised just how big it was and how much it's growing in the UK and in Europe. And as part of the graduate scheme, I was fortunate enough to spend 3 months in Germany at Essity's largest site in Europe. So for context, Manchester has one paper machine, but in Mannheim they have 5. So just being able to see the scale of the operation, being able to learn from experienced individuals just about how they troubleshoot and problem solve was really valuable. And it was great to go there to have the responsibility of a project to improve like some of the smaller processes. So I was there to improve their wastewater treatment process. And even just seeing how that ties into everything else, just again highlighted just how many skilled individuals are needed in the paper making industry. And off the back of my time in Germany, I was then given the opportunity to spend 6 months at our Research and Development Centre for Tissue in France. It's the largest R&D centre in the world for tissue. So again, it was a great experience just to see the innovation that's going behind tissue and what the future could look like with tissue. I mean, some things I just really never thought were possible, but I was able to see and appreciate. And then when I came back with the skills that I'd gained and the experience that I had, it's helped me now in this new role that I have in initiatives just to help bridge the gap between research and development and industry to bring them innovations alive.
Abigail, you've been on a world tour. I love it. I'm jealous. One thing that
Absolutely.
you both keep talking about that I can't ignore is community and the economy. It's clearly a massive priority for Essity, but why is it so important that you go beyond the factory and go and support the wider community?
Yeah, definitely. Because with us, I would say Greater Manchester, it's such a large community, but every little catchment is little, but you can make a huge impact amongst thousands of people just by going to the next town. And just having that connection being global, but acting local. You need to think that we are local workers. We are here, no matter where you come from, you're here to help your local community, one way or another. And businesses do have a responsibility, and it's a legal responsibility, but you must go beyond that and think about these are people's children, these are people's neighbors, and get back to that basic. And the business that you operate, you're operating in a local community, and you must look at that support. So I think it's around 20% is this corporate social responsibility, but it needs to go beyond that. And giving every employee the power to make those decisions is where big businesses can have that leverage, because you've got the numbers. And not every young person knows what opportunities even exist in manufacturing, even engineering or business. So networks such as yourself, when you join those networks, you go to schools, you go to colleges, you get into community groups. We have connections with local sports clubs, extracurricular activities. You can help raise the awareness, but also aspirations. You know, there could be someone sitting in that room that's not sure what to do, and it's absolutely fine. It's just that speech or that talk or that presentation, or just speaking to their mother or father or their carer, and that will help improve awareness. And just the barriers, the amount of barriers that people have to get through. If you're the one that's been through that before, getting that story back to them just to get them thinking differently about that next step. And you could be delivering careers talks, providing work experience, and opening the door. A lot of difficulty is paperwork. So even we share paperwork with other companies, local companies, to say this is how health and safety information. Make sure you check with your legislation and local awarding body. Supporting employability workshops. So getting the skills across to the people from a large business and helping small and medium enterprises. You would sponsor local initiatives. Like, some people don't even have football boots to wear. So it's like, how about get them out there and get those skills on the sports field, and when they're ready, you could interview them. But even not, they might be ready to interview with another business, and that's community. It's helping family and friends, people that you know, neighbors, and it's a factory that we work in. So factories, you know, back in the day would be looking at, even our local sports rugby union club was founded from a local engineering factory in the 90s. So that those types of things, it can come from a factory. It's quite family orientated. It's about creating opportunities, I would say, that positively impact the wider community and not just your business. Because when you're in private business, it's about profit. But of course, sustainability does not just have an aspect of money. So social and society. So within community, it is a must. And even having 2 days volunteer days, you're allowing employees to take those back and give that back to community. And then we have works councils every month, and we donate over 1 million roles to actual communities out there with the products we make. And those are trusts, non-for-profits, charities. So hitting all areas, and must not be biased, must just think what is best for your community. Not who you know or what you know. It's literally, you go with statistics, you go with the council, you go with the networks that we've joined, such as yourself, and you take that advice and you support where you can.
I think what I'd like to add to that is that it's great to be a part of an organisation that is very charitable and donates all the products and all the money to these different smaller groups. And it's also just great to leave the workplace and to see what's going on in our community, and to give back, and to just remember that it's not about working at such a big community or hitting the key performance indicators like in the production site. It's really about making sure that the people around us are doing well also.
Yeah, and even on that point, my last point there, with the local council, we work within our catchment, which is Trafford. I don't think of Borders as Salford and Trafford. We're in both, on the canal. For me, I'm Australian. My mum is British, so I've got that small community, small kind of village aspect. So I always pitch this to my manager, directors, the board. Don't be afraid to do that and say, can we do something different? We're a global business. We report to another country, but we are here. So even one of the local council members, they met me at one of the networks from the Ambassador Network event. We connected. She realized what products we're making. In the south of Manchester, she mentioned there's the Poverty Action Group. I joined that for 2 years and just thought, how can we help in that area? And even with homelessness, there was a gentleman in the local area that was on the waiting list within the doctors and hospital system. And I just thought, actually, could I just ask our logistics director with the specific products that we make and offer those for a month or two just to alleviate that stress? That could be someone's son, that could be someone's father. So why not just help out your neighbor? And those things, because we have the access to our products, millions of products, why not leverage that and just try and think a bit differently and just think this is going to help alleviate that stress to someone. And yeah, we can do that. So definitely just think outside the box is what I would say.
Amazing. Harry, Abigail, it's been so great talking to you. You're clearly both very passionate. That's everything from me. So Hannah, I don't know if there's anything more from you.
Thanks, Sophie. I think it's absolutely admirable, that community spirit that Essity has. It's really lovely to hear. And it's been great hearing from you both on your experiences, the insights that you've shared with us. I've learnt a lot today, so I really appreciate you joining us. And well done again. Congratulations to Essity and the team for winning Large Employer of the Year at GM Skills Awards 2026. And obviously, thank you to you as well, Sophie. We really appreciate you representing the Northwest Apprenticeship Ambassador Network. They've been a valued support for the GM Skills Awards, so thank you again. I think today's discussions really highlighted the commitment, innovation and leadership that helps businesses, employees and communities thrive. But yeah, hopefully people have enjoyed the episode who's been listening, and hopefully, if you've been following, please do share, and we'd like to hopefully get you joining in on any other episodes that come out soon. But thanks again for listening, and thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.